The Royal Derby, one of Britain's newest and largest hospitals, treating 1 million patients a year.
Morning, hospital, Sarah speaking.
You're in hospital.
Every day here, lives begin, and lives are saved.
Adrenaline, please.
The stakes are high. The decisions we make the difference whether a patient lives or dies.
Right, who am I going into battle with now?
Behind every life-changing moment
Calm down. Oi!
We'll go and make the toast.
is an extraordinary team of over 8,000 staff,
We're living the dream, you and me here, aren't we, summed up?
each one dependent on the next.
We are like a little work family.
Take one member out of that family and it doesn't function.
3, 2, 1, go.
Continue this search for a missing patient. You look after him.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
From the surgeons to the sweepers,
Just behave yourself, that's all I ask.
You did so well.
these are their stories.
I just need to get this right.
It's quite intense, but it's what we do.
We are family, and I've got all my patients with me. We are family at the Royal Derby.
Where are we next? 101.
101.
Female changing room. Interesting.
There are 1,200 toilets and 4,000 sinks dotted around the Royal Derby Hospital.
Smells delightful.
Martin and John are part of the maintenance crew, employed to make them operational again whenever there's a blockage.
It's usually the covers off shavers, gent shavers, plastic teaspoons, grapes, believe it or not. Makes one hell of a mess. Yeah, look.
Sharing the facilities is Susie, who is getting ready for a morning shift in A&E.
On there like that. Right, when you're ready, try that. Not very nice, but yeah, I've got it, John.
Is it a boy or a girl?
It's a bit of both, actually.
But keeping the sinks free-flowing isn't the only thing the boys do around here.
Helicopter inbound, 1 patient, 3 crew.
Fire and rescue received, en route.
They're also the helicopter fire and rescue crew.
The adrenaline kicks in when that bleep goes off. We have to be up there because that helicopter can't land until we are actually up there. If we aren't there, it has to hover. I'll do the valves. You do the doors. I'll do the door. You've always got to be focused. As quickly as that helicopter gets down, we can get the patients onto the trolley and down into A&E. Oh, it's still corridor, yeah.
Martin runs down to seal the corridor to A&E.
Can I just ask you to wait there a minute, mate, please?
Once the patient is delivered into the hands of the emergency doctors, it's back to the sinks for the boys. In A&E, Susie is the consultant in charge. She'll have an overall responsibility for about 350 patients treated here today.
It's just completely relentless. Got no control about who comes through the doors. Sometimes we have difficulty getting patients out. All I do all day is come to work and make decisions.
Right, who am I going into battle with now?
It's a patient with a history of violence.
Chill out.
And Susie must decide the safest way to insert a drip.
Don't start doing that. You'll be selling bugger, won't you? Calm down. Oi!
Well, you should do, shouldn't you?
Oh, for goodness sake. Less wriggling.
I need to exude confidence. The patients need it, the nurses need it, the junior staff need it.
Keep still, or you're going to hurt yourself. Keep still. You're going to hurt yourself, mate. Keep very, very still.
We like a moving target, don't we, Craig?
Not moaning. It's one of those days where everything is going to be difficult. So,
I do apologise.
It's not your fault on this occasion.
Audrey.
What's the plan then, Susie, for you to ring them or...?
In a minute. I've got two things on the go at the
no,
minute.
no,
Let me
no
sort
problem.
out Mr. trying to bleed to death, and then we'll sort out him, because he's not going anywhere.
Do you want us to go wait in their reception desk?
I suggest a cup of tea,
Right.
because he's not going anywhere, is he?
No,
All right?
lovely.
Thanks for your help earlier on. We couldn't have done it without you.
Anytime.
Here we go, Margaret. 1 cup of tea for you, darling. There you go, sweet pea. All right. Good. Enjoy, my darling. I just love patients on the ward. Absolutely love them. Did you sleep all right, Ali? Yeah. Good. There we go, sweetheart.
Up on the 4th floor, housekeeper Colette is in charge of keeping patients fed and watered.
Right. Put my stuff away.
She's like the landlady of the ward.
Oh, you're not making a mess of my kitchen, Doc. Good morning, darling.
I ever made a mess.
Oh, morning, Doc. How are you, darling? I love the shirt.
You like it?
Yeah, suits you. Very much so, Doc. Absolutely. Love it. I always say that to him. He's such a lovely Doc. Can't help myself. Beryl.
Yes, thank you.
Toast and marmalade. There you go, my sweet. There you go, darling.
Can I have a knife?
You want a knife, darling? I'll go and get you one, sweetie. Yeah.
Nuisance. Oh, I didn't know it was cutting off.
This is one of several wards dedicated to the care of an ever-growing number of elderly patients.
Thank you.
Put your glasses on. Yeah? Good man.
Okay.
All right? Yeah?
No, that.
Colette and colleagues, like Sarah, also see talking as a key part of their job, encouraging those on the ward to reminisce.
What do you think to my tattoos, Beryl? Do you like them? Oh.
No, not really. Well, you asked me.
Well, yeah.
In my generation, we didn't do them. We didn't have them.
No.
Not to my idea, anyway.
What sort of people did?
Yobbos.
I get so attached to some of the ladies on the ward because they remind me of what happened 6 years ago. Me and my sisters, we lost our mum. So just have to get over it and get on with it. But it is hard sometimes. It's really very hard sometimes. But you just get on with it. Miss her like crazy, but hey.
Must be Margaret. Do you enjoy me doing your hair, Margaret?
Oh, yes, I like being twiddled around. Yes. It's really lovely.
Oh, I'm glad.
Thank you.
Anytime.
Thank you.
It's all right.
The Royal Derby has 51 clinical departments. They deal with anything from a routine X-ray to a critical emergency. Over 2,500 people a day are treated as outpatients, with over 1,000 needing a bed overnight.
Hello, Nightingale Macmillan Unit. How can I help?
In the Macmillan unit, Venkat is meeting one of the newest inpatients.
I hope you like my cup of tea.
Yeah, that'll be fine, thank you.
A few days ago, Glyn was diagnosed with a tumour above one of his lungs.
And how are you this morning?
Good, I think. Slept better again, which is good.
We don't know how you will respond to the treatment unless you start having the treatment.
Sure.
And that remains to be seen. Time will tell. If the treatment has the desired effect, you're likely to get back doing what you were doing earlier on.
We want to remain optimistic.
I think today it's sort of start of the radiotherapy, so it's sort of start of the unknown today, I think, isn't it? And I am optimistic because if I can beat it, I'll beat it.
Last week, when he was admitted to the unit, he was in a lot of pain, and now his symptoms are better. He's certainly mobilizing better, his pain's better, and he's starting to talk more about what his future is now. So, and that's a positive way. We made an impact, and this is not end of life, and this is quite early in the diagnosis.
Glyn's wife, Dawn, has moved into his room to help out during the first few days of his treatment.
The improvements that I've made since last Tuesday are really unrecognisable, aren't they?
Mm. Yeah.
In fact, it's been absolutely fantastic, really. We won't get the better of me, absolutely not.
No.
I'll be coming out the other side, there's no doubt about that whatsoever.
We'll fight it all the way.
I'll fight it all the way.
Then we'll get you home.
And then get off home. It'd be nice to get back and see the doggies. Missing my doggies now a little bit.
Yeah, little monkeys.
A couple more days at the most.
With the approach of midday, Susie is halfway through her shift in A&E.
So we've gone from one patient to another patient to another patient. We have an enormous pressure, and the book stops with me.
3, 2, 1, go. Thank you. Can I have a fresh gown, please?
With no sign of things slowing down, a patient is rushed in who has lost a large amount of blood. He is unresponsive.
All right, so we'll get you sorted.
My name is Susie. I'm a doctor. Sharp scratch just at the moment in your arm because we need to give you some fluid and make sure that you're safe. I think you've lost quite a lot of blood. My role is to make decisions. Decision after decision after decision. Every now and again, you think, did I get it right? When that little bit of self-doubt starts to creep in, you actually feel that you're some sort of fraud, and at any minute somebody's going to find out. So my bottom line thinking is I'm a useless doctor. But do you know what? I'd still prefer that than be an arrogant little shit.
How are you feeling now, John?
I feel a bit better now, yeah.
Bless you.
Oh, good.
Susie has stopped a potentially life-threatening hemorrhage.
You're going to have a bit of washing to do. Blood on your boobs.
It's everywhere in my flat.
In your flat? Oh, bless you.
The thousands of people passing through the hospital every day can unwittingly bring their own threat.
They're not working in here. Oh, we're all in darkness.
Debbie and her hygiene crew have a short time to spot-check the cleanliness of theatres before the day's operations begin. Stopping the spread of superbugs is so important that the hygiene team have the power to shut down a theatre if it doesn't meet their high standards.
That's fine. It's good.
I'm just going to do the floor. Yeah?
Okay, I'm just going to go into the...
The edges are OK, so I'll just
Yeah.
check the middle. Check under everywhere. So, hopefully there should be nothing on me. Nothing. Spotless part, well done. Right, doing here then. Wash my hands.
In one of the orthopaedic theatres, Julie is deep cleaning in preparation for the knee and hip operations in a few hours.
This is where the magic's created in here. And obviously my job is to keep everything under control with regards all the dirt and all the bacteria, and any dust would be fatal falling from any of these lights. I mean, the surgeons here, they're just ultimately, they're gods, aren't they? I mean, we're just mere mortals here, aren't we? I bow as they go past in the corridor.
Orthopaedic surgeon Arthur is operating on 4 patients today.
How are you? Good, good, good. Are you all set to go?
First on his list is Mr. Desange, who is having a knee replacement.
As part of the service today, we give you a free shave as well. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, don't wash this off, Dev, will you?
No.
Well, I'll go get my pyjamas on. Thank you. See you in a bit.
See you later.
Okay.
As one of the hospital's most reputable surgeons, Arthur prides himself on the personal touch.
Okay, right. I'll go get my hands washed. I'll see you in there, all right? Well done, Dev.
He believes a relaxed atmosphere is the key to his success.
Let's get it on. Jesse, what a tune. Let's get it on. Oh, yes. Ben, your line. You? Sensitive people. The whole theatre atmosphere, as far as I'm concerned, is quite purposefully engineered. I don't think people perform terribly well in the height of stress. And I think that's one way, whether it be by music or, you know, the jocular conversations, that's just a way of keeping the theatre atmosphere fairly low-key, whilst concentrating on a technical exercise, which is this knee replacement.
Giving yourself to me can never be wrong. If the love is true.
I've been a consultant now for over 10 years, and you build an eclectic taste. The group team favourite? A big dose of Detroit Motown. We love a bit of that. Keeps me and my staff on a plane where they're not stressed at the outset. If they're not stressed, there's always another place which you can move into of extra focus, should you need to. So, left total knee replacement.
Yeah, if we could put that in, please. Left total knee replacement, Genesis 2.
Done. Well done, Dev.
Thank you.
All done. The fact you couldn't straighten your leg, it can now go straight, and it's now straight up and down. You've lost a bit of that bow in your knee as well. All right? Well done. OK. Morning. Smile. Come on. Everybody in those hospital beds is somebody else's mother, grandmother, sister, whatever. And you can look at an X-ray and see broken bones or degenerate hips, but you can't fail to appreciate the fact that that is someone's relative.
2 floors down, in the basement, Glyn is about to begin radiotherapy treatment in an effort to shrink the tumour above one of his lungs.
You put weight on wiping away.
Right by his side, for support, is his wife, Dawn.
Managed to cut right down on the sickies, so that's a plus. The ultimate goal is obviously give them up and pack them up for good. Dawn's never ever smoked in her life. Me and Dawn grew up together. We've been together since we were 15. We met through being in carnival bands, marching bands.
We started off as best friends. Became friends in the band and became very, very good friends, and then progressed from there. And you plucked up the courage to ask me.
But we just had a lot in common from day one, I suppose. Dawn was pregnant when she was 16. That always moves the relationship along a little bit, and that's it. We've been together ever since. Never been able to shake her off.
Going into that, you do.
You realised she was onto a good thing, didn't you, Dawn?
I did.
Venkat will be monitoring Glyn's progress closely.
The proposed treatment for Glyn is radiotherapy.
Hello, you all right?
We have a good proportion of our patients who are here to manage their symptoms, and then we get them home.
Hello, how are you?
All right, how are you?
I'm okay, thank you.
We just don't know if it's going to work, but we have to try.
Just go straight down there, that's fine.
Is that all right there?
What's that?
You okay like that?
I'm fine.
OK then, Glyn. Off we go.
It does make me think about my own mortality. Yeah, I mean, I'm 45 years of age. You think about everybody else and, you know, the wife and the kids and the impact that it's going to have on them. They've got to go through it with you, which can't be an easy thing.
Venkat should soon receive the first test results to determine how well Glyn is responding to treatment. Up on the second floor, Martin and John are back on maintenance duty, keeping the hospital ticking over.
Hi.
Hi,
Boys.
All right?
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you, sweetheart.
Hi, Ben, you all right? Hi, Ben. How's things?
Nice to see you.
And you? No, it's good.
Oh, well, everybody's heard about the bird. Bird. Bird's a winner, well, a bird. Bird is a winner, well, a bird.
Going up.
There has never been a helicopter crash at the Royal Derby Hospital, but that doesn't stop the fire and rescue crew from going through their paces. The two large cannons, fed from a 10,000-litre water tank, need regular testing.
Everything functioning okay my side? How about yours?
Perfect here.
How about you?
Everything's
All good?
A-OK.
Marvellous. Just checking the lights, but make sure everything's fixed as it should be. The last thing you want is one of these things coming off and flying towards you. Hey, can you remember that day?
Yeah.
5 in a day. Road traffic accident.
One was an horse rider.
No, 2 horse riders.
The gentleman who was cutting his conifer trees with a chainsaw.
Chainsaw man, which is another favourite.
Mm.
This is the most important bit of kit for us. This is the beeper, through which we are contacted.
It's also linked to the hen party do's, where he goes as John Boy, the stripper.
Yeah. Marvellous.
But Martin and John are not the only ones with work to do on the helipad. Lloyd the Hawk is the hospital's official pigeon chaser and one of its most unexpected lifesavers.
There's some birds over there. Yeah, those pigeons have disappeared now. That's it. Lloyd done good. Yeah, good lad.
By making sure the rooftops stay bird-free, he keeps the helicopters and fire and rescue teams safe.
Beautiful.
Pigeons could go into the rotors. That could cause problems with the helicopter itself. Generally, to make sure that when the air ambulance does come in, that it's not. There's no danger of the pigeons interfering with the landing and the taking off the helicopter. There's about 100 pigeons here at the moment. If you left them to their own devices, you know, they'd be overrun with them. There'd be thousands here. But this is the only natural way to get rid of them. Yeah. Do some work, you get some food, Lloyd.
He's loving it.
He is. Lloyd! Please come back.
Can you see him?
See, he's gone that far with the wind. Now, for him to come back against the wind,
okay.
It's too far for him to come back all that way now.
Is it?
Yeah, so we have to go and get him now.
Oh, dear.
You know. Lloyd!
Morning, Ash. How are you?
Back in A&E, Susie's next patient is 17-year-old Toby, whose leg has been cut open by studs during a game of rugby.
This looks like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. wasn't quite the look I was going for. Right, so that's that. I'm going to put some local anaesthetic around the wound. So my strong suggestion to you is to breathe on that Entonox. In fact, nothing happens for about 20 breaths, and then a beautiful moment happens where you feel slightly drunk. Not that you've ever been drunk, ever.
No,
Never.
Never.
Your nose is getting very slightly longer.
No, it's not. I know it's wide, but it's not long.
OK.
In this case, good old-fashioned laughing gas is the anaesthetic of choice.
Look at you.
He's kicked in now. He's enjoying it a bit too much, I think.
Yeah. I can hear everything.
OK, keep breathing away, my friend. Scratch coming.
This is brilliant.
All right, are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
Oh, yes! I was right on it.
You see what's going to happen now? It's a terrible thing.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. It's all good.
Give it back. Give
Well,
me back.
OK. I've seen that before.
As one of the most versatile A&E consultants in the hospital, Susie's also responsible for the very young patients that stream into children's A&E.
This is Frank. Frank has had 45 minutes, looks like it's been febrile convulsion.
Yeah.
Initial temperature of 39.2, no cal.
3-year-old Frank has been brought in by ambulance, suffering from convulsions. Susie knows that with children, their health can deteriorate in an instant.
Don't worry, just relax. Just relax.
Right, tell me the story from the top.
His eyes rolled up.
Yeah.
He started seizing. His whole left side was like jolting for about 20 minutes.
Just his left side?
Just his left side.
OK.
Yeah. Then his head started going with it, like a twitch.
Yeah.
Vomited 5 times in total.
Yeah.
Then he lost consciousness completely. I put him in the recovery position.
Yeah. Was he making funny noises?
He was frothing.
Yeah. I cannot guarantee that if his temperature goes up again, that he might have another seizure. Right. Good boy. Good boy. If a child has a seizure in front of their parents, they think their child is dying. Many years ago, my daughter wasn't very well, and so she slept with me, and I woke up in the night because she was so hot, and I was a bit disorientated, and I switched the light on and I looked at her, and she was starting to twitch. She was about to have a seizure. It must have been only seconds, but it felt like forever that I didn't know what was happening. And I didn't know what to do. Let's have a peek down here. Maybe the Gruffalo lives in here. Let's have a look. All kids with a fever, you'd strip them off. The worst thing would be that he's got something more significant, such as herpes encephalitis, something along those lines, and that needs a very particular treatment. So I just need to get this right.
On the elderly ward, Sarah and Colette are on their way to visit 91-year-old ex-tank driver Albert.
You all right, Colette?
Yeah, babe.
He's been off his food the last few days.
Hey up, Albert. Albert, I've heard you want some help with your menu tomorrow. You want some help with your dinner menu tomorrow?
I've got no clothes.
Don't worry about your clothes, Albert.
clothes.
Let's fill that paper in for you and get your meals
right,
sorted.
go on then.
Right, fish and chips?
Oh, yeah. Love them.
Oh, fish and chips will do.
Oh. Shall we leave you alone?
I don't know, you can,
Oh.
you can get in bed with me, that.
Oh, Albert. Not
I'm
before
married.
dinner.
I've just got married. I can't get in your bed. She's not married, though.
Hey?
Hey, I've been married 3 times. Nah, told me.
She wears them out.
Do you know what I love about you, Albert? You're so honest. You're so honest. You say it as it is.
I've done no wrong.
You've done nothing wrong, my love.
I don't think so.
I don't think you have neither.
I've shot some people.
Oh, right, OK.
Hello.
Whoa.
Do I know you? Are you all right then?
Yeah.
You coming home soon?
When?
Probably tomorrow if I can sort it.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Way.
Please.
I'm going to miss you.
Yeah. Try your best.
Oh.
Down in the basement, Glyn is undergoing his latest session of radiotherapy.
Certainly made me stop and think, that is for sure. Makes you stop and think about your lifestyle and what you do every day and the way you do things every day, and maybe things you take for granted every day. You know, just jumping out of bed in the morning and getting off to work, and then all of a sudden, everything's a challenge.
Poor Glenn, hope he's getting on all right in
I wonder how he's getting on
radiotherapy.
down there, bless him.
I know, he was in such a lot of pain, wasn't he, last
No,
night?
it breaks your heart, doesn't it? He's so young, bless him. It's not fair.
Eileen and Laura are responsible for Glyn's welfare on the ward.
Oh, I gave him a big cuddle earlier, and he nearly cried. And then I nearly cried.
Oh, it's...
I don't think I've ever cried so much.
I know, it's so
Working
sad.
here, as I have anywhere else.
And sometimes you wish you could just do a bit more.
I know. It's so hard, isn't it? Bless him.
I wonder if Glyn will be back for dinner, in time for dinner.
I'm sure it's been a couple of hours, hasn't he? I didn't think he'd be that long, to be honest. Hope he's all right.
Back in his office, Venkat has received the results regarding Glyn's progress.
Sadly today, I have to deliver the news to Glyn that radiotherapy is not working, and this will come across as extremely heartbreaking for him and his family, as this means he has a limited amount of time. Conversations like these involving breaking bad news are never easy. The patients need to be offered the option of knowing what's happening, and it's important for us to be open and honest with them. Hello again.
Hello again.
This has been a challenging week.
Yeah.
Challenge may be an understatement. We are talking about treatment being palliative here, and that means to control the pain, to give you a good quality of life.
Mm-hmm.
It may not add a lot from a quantity point of view. And hence it makes me say, we're looking at months here.
I'm expecting somebody just to walk through the door and tell me that I'm better and it's all sorted and off you trot.
I've heard that before. And it's a difficult place to be.
What have I done in 45 years that have got me to where I am today?
The question, why me? Why now? Is something people ask all the time.
Yeah. And then obviously got on in the back of your mind, it's pretty inevitable now. I think that I'm going to be leaving people behind a lot. A lot older than me. You know, I'm going to be leaving people behind, and maybe it's in a selfish sort of way. I didn't feel like it was my turn yet, you know. And maybe by leaving them here is a little bit selfish. I don't know. All of those things a little bit, I suppose. Make the best of what we've got.
I promise you this, we will try our very best to to support the family. Take care.
In children's A&E, 3-year-old Frank's condition still hasn't improved.
Are you hot again? Are you hot?
He's probably tired now, I don't know, but he's just not all there, you know, it's not. You know, when I was saying, look at the telly, and he was looking at other things, and he knew the telly was there. I don't know, he was just funny.
Should knock him for 6.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah.
Exhausting. So is this very unusual?